With so much time spent online for work, communication, even downtime, many of us are making efforts toward building more analog time into our routines. Here to tell us more about the analog life and how it could be beneficial to a lot of us and a lot of families, we have Dr. Ashley Stevens from Cabell County Schools. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, so explain what analog life is, and there's a challenge.
So again, as we're, kind of in a place where we're looking at what kind of life do we want to craft for ourselves this year. We're on the tail end of deciding who we want to be and how we're going to change things. Lots of challenges of like, write a letter every week or, try a new recipe. All of these things are in the conversations right now as people share, their intentions. But one that has been exceptionally interesting to me, and I think we've all seen sort of the growth of this subtly, and now it's got a name and it's got a plan, is the analog life. And it's looking at that screen time. I don't know if you've ever checked your screen time.
I know.
That will humble you very quickly.
It will.
But looking at how do we intentionally build things that will pull us away, because our phones are made to be sticky. They're made to keep us there. The apps are created to take our attention and keep us distracted. So what can we build in our lives that is created to pull us back into the real world, into doing with our hands and being with our people? And so that's where this analog life or this, analog boom and analog challenges really come from, is people are starting to see the pendulum has swung so far into the digital world, and there's nothing wrong with that, but they're starting to seek
limitations.
out that balance. So I think it's really cool.
I like that idea. I haven't heard that phrase yet. So what would be some ideas, and what do you think would be the benefits of adding, I guess, less phone time and more real world time?
So according to the research, because this is already like in the world of what we know about digital distraction and kind of the costs that come with that, is that it lowers overwhelm, it can lower anxiety. You feel like you're missing things because you can't scroll fast enough to get to the end. Like we haven't read everything on the internet yet, so of course we're behind. So this kind of takes that away. It builds connection, which we know is good for us in a million ways, for our physical health, for our mental health. It also builds attention span and concentration. So
that's important.
The educator in me really loves this this benefit. When you're used to short form video, you watch 10 seconds, and if it doesn't make you excited, you're gone. It's
you've
over.
Already moved on.
The rest of the world can feel very slow. And so by building in things, where you get to be a little bit bored while you're waiting for the water to boil, for the meal that you're making, that's great. You're going to fill it with conversation. You're going to fill it with things that are not that dopamine hit that's so quick.
Oh, wow. And we want to talk about some of these benefits, and I think you have some important key points that we're going to show on the screen so that everyone at home can kind of follow along as well.
So these are some that have been identified when people talk about an analog challenge or an analog life. These are the things that they're looking at. So they're talking about reading, and I love a Kindle or e-reader. So I'm not going to just say physical books, but things that are not a phone or a tablet. So reading with something a little bit more tangible. Movement, so whether this is like physical activity, fitnessy types of things, or just walking or hiking or being outside. It is such an underrated thing that we can do for ourselves. The connection piece of, I'm not going to text you today. Will you meet me for coffee?
Oh, I like that one.
I'm not going to, I'm not going to just make this phone call, let's get together for dinner kind of thing. And then the making and creating. I know that, at least for me, when my hands are busy, my mind is quiet. And you have something tangible to show for what you've done. I can doom scroll for 8 hours and I have nothing to show for myself. But if you put me in front of a sewing machine for 8 hours, I can really do something.
Yeah, we share that hobby of sewing and quilting, so that's a great way to practice this.
Absolutely.
Putting the phone down and actually create something.
Doing something. And it doesn't mean you have to totally take out the tech. Maybe you're listening to an ebook while you're doing something. Or maybe there's music on while you're in the kitchen. This isn't anti-tech. We need it. It's beneficial. I'm really happy I don't live in a life without like GPS. Like we're good.
We need it. We need a little bit of it.
But we also need time without it, or time where it is not taking all of our attention.
Any final thoughts on this? Because it sounds like something that families, especially school-age children, could really benefit doing things as a family.
Absolutely. I think a lot of us worry about how much time our kids spend on a screen. Certainly there's the educational component that happens at school, and then if they come home and they're playing video games or they're, talking to their friends, or it is really easy for us to lose our kids into digital distraction. And so this is a fun way to pull them out. It's not like, oh, you're on your phone all the time, or put down your phone. You have to give them a reason to. And I would like to look you in the face is not always the only reason. Sometimes it needs to be, would you come sit with me in the kitchen while we make this? Or would you like to go for a walk? Or what are some things that you would like to do? Let's hop in the craft store and find, you know, an easy project to start. I think starting small and not being like, oh, we're never having phones again. I don't think that's it.
Yeah.
But starting with something you can do together that gives them a reason to focus. They won't notice that you asked them to put down their phone because they'll notice that you asked them to pick up something else.
Yeah.
So it's not getting rid of, it is giving them something that distracts them more than that distracts them.
I like that idea. Yeah, well, Dr. Stevens, thanks so much for stopping by and sharing all about analog life and that it is back.
Absolutely, it's back.